So now, in today's session, we are going to discuss about the workflow rules. We'll see what exactly a workflow rule, what is the use, what type of workflow rules are available in Salesforce, and then how can we configure the workflow rules on an object, and what are the various limitations has been given by Salesforce by default regarding the workflow rules, and what kind of actions we can automate with the help of the workflow rule, and how to configure the immediate actions and how to configure the time dependent actions are also called as time triggers. And how can we track all those things, we'll see practically. And at the end of these sessions, we'll see what are the various limitations that we have as part of these workflow rules. That means we'll see both what we can do through workflow rules, what we can't do through workflow rules. Okay, we'll see both. At that time, how can we go beyond these workflow rules? We'll see that concept as part of the process builder. Okay, now. So now let's see, first of all, we have to understand what exactly a workflow rule. What is the use? How to configure the workflow rule, we should be aware of that here. Now, for example, come to a general scenario. Assume that I'm having a banking organization. Okay, I'm having a banking organization. As a banking organization, we are offering so many services to our customers. The customer can visit my organization, they can open a new bank account, and from there onwards, they can able to perform the transactions inside that bank account. They can deposit some money, they can withdraw the amount also, they can apply for some loans also, they can update that account details also in future if they require. So in this case, as part of my bank policy, as soon as whenever the customer is depositing some money inside this bank account, then I want to send a notification alert. I want to send a notification alert because the customer has to know whether he is operating that account or some other people are hacking that account. If I'm not sending any notification, it may be SMS, it may be email, then if somebody is withdrawing the money from your account, then at that time the customer doesn't know what's happening internally here. If somebody is withdrawing the money or not, that doesn't know. For that one here, I want to send some notifications to that customers whenever they're depositing some money, whenever they're withdrawing the money here. Now, it's my bank policy here. As part of my bank policy, I want to send the notification alerts. Like I want to send an email alert, I want to send an SMS alert to the customer's mobile number and the registered email ID. Now, so now here in this case here, now who is sending this email notification, SMS notification to the customer's mobile number and email ID? Will the bank employee sending this email notification manually? No. Then who is sending that here? System generated. Suppose, for example, if the system is not sending this kind of notification alerts, then at that time what needs to be done? Now, whenever a person is visiting that bank branch, they have to go to the respective counter. It may be deposit counter, withdraw counter, whatever. When you go to the deposit counter, I will give the money and the form to the person. The person has to open their bank account application, and then in that bank application, they have to enter my account number. Based on the account number, they have to open my account record. They have to deposit some money here. Once they are depositing the money, they have to send the email notification to me manually. They have to send the SMS notification to me manually. That means 3 operations they have to do manually here to serve a single customer. Suppose if I am going to be performing all these 3 operations manually by my own, then what about the remaining customers? To serve a single customer, it will take some minimum 5 minutes. Like I need to deposit the money into that customer's account. I need to send the email notification. I need to send the SMS also. It will take more time. So at that time, the queue will be keep on increasing when coming to my bank. The customer has to wait inside the queue for a long time. But in this case, if I am making my customer to be waiting for more time, then the customer won't show interest to utilize my banking services. From next time onwards, they won't visit my bank branch. They will go to some different banking organizations. For that one, what I want to do is, instead of performing all these operations manually by my own, I want to perform only some certain operations. Remaining operation I would like to delegate to the system itself. Just, I will open that customer's bank account record and then I will deposit the money. That's it. So now my job is over. Sending the notification will be taken care by my system itself automatically. That means my bank application will take care of that. That means what? Instead of performing all the operations manually by my own, okay, as part of my bank policies, I want to perform only certain operations. Remaining operations I want to delegate to my system itself, to my application itself, so that some operations I will perform, remaining operations will be taken care by my system itself. So that I can spend very less time to serve a single customer, so that customer no need to wait inside the queue for a long time. For that one, we can serve to the multiple customers also within a very short span of time. So in this case, whatever the operations you are performing as part of your regular activities, or whatever the operations you are performing as part of your organization processes, as part of daily activities, don't perform all the operations manually by your own. Only perform some certain operations. Remaining operations we can make it automated. How can we automate? With the help of a feature called as workflow rules. Through workflow rules, some operations we can make it automated here. That possibility is available to you. Okay? Now, so now for example here, assume that. Come to one more scenario. Assume that today I am reserving a movie ticket here. Today I am reserving a movie ticket. Recently a movie has been released. So the people has given very good ratings. So I have planned to watch the movie today itself. So I am reserving a movie ticket here. As soon as the movie ticket has been getting reserved, then how do you know the confirmation? One SMS notification, one email notification will be available to you. Who is sending this notification? System itself. So now the system is sending that email notification along with that SMS notification also. Now, today I'm having a travel plan. So that I'm having a bus ticket. Okay, bus ticket. As soon as the ticket has been getting reserved, then immediately they're sending one email notification with the complete ticket details, and they're sending one SMS notification also. For example, I'm using a credit card. Okay, I'm using a credit card. As soon as whenever your credit card bill has been getting generated, immediately it will be sending one notification like, dear customer, your credit card number ending with some 1234, the bill has been generated. This is the bill amount, this is the due date. So please pay the credit card bill on or before due date to avoid the interest charges. Like they're sending some notifications over here. Now, as soon as the credit card bill has been getting generated, one email notification will be sending to my email ID with that credit card complete statement as an attachment. Along with that, I will be getting one SMS notification also. So whenever a customer has been raised a case, okay, whenever a customer has been raised a case, then we are sending that email notification, we are sending some SMS notification to indicate the confirmation back to the customer. Dear customer, your case has been registered successfully, so one of our service person will contact you shortly. Like that, we are going to be sending the notifications automatically. If you want to perform these kind of operations automatically, if you want to make these processes automated, then we can able to use a feature called as workflow rules. Okay? We can able to use a feature called as workflow rules. So now what exactly a workflow rule basically here? Now, what a workflow rule contains basically? Now, workflow rules are used to automate some of the business processes as part of your organization. Okay, workflow rules are used to automate some of the business processes, not all. Some of the business processes we can automate here. What business process we can automate, we'll see practically today here. Okay, now how to do that we'll see practically today. Now in this case, as part of your organization policies or as part of your organization processes, whatever the operations you're performing regularly, instead of performing all those operations manually by your own, we can able to make some certain processes to be get automated. In order to make some certain processes to be get automated, we are using a feature called as workflow rules. So that my workflow rule will do that operation automatically by default. I no need to perform that operation manually. That can be done by my system itself with the help of a feature called as workflow rules. Okay, now. So now here in this case here. So when coming to that workflow rules. Now, what a workflow rule contains basically here. Each and every workflow rule contains two things. Okay, every workflow rule contains two things. The first one is the criteria. Okay, criteria. This is also called as event. This is also called as evolution criteria. Okay, this is also called as event or criteria or evolution criteria. Along with that, workflow can have one or more actions. Okay, workflow can have one or more actions. Now, what exactly this criteria? What exactly this action? What criteria are available for workflow rule? What actions are available for workflow rule? Okay, now let's see here. Now, make a note of this one. Workflow rules. Workflow rules are used to automate some of the business processes. Workflow rules are used to automate some of the business processes inside the organization. That means instead of performing all the operations manually by my own, we can able to automate some of the processes by using workflow rules. Now, each workflow rule contains the below features. The first one, it contains a criteria, and second one, it contains an action. Each workflow rule contains the below features. One is the criteria. This is also called as event. This is also called as evolution criteria. And the second one is actions. Now, then what do you mean by this criteria here? What do you mean by this criteria? For example, today I'm depositing some money into my bank account. Already in my bank account I'm having some 10,000 rupees. Now I have deposited some 5,000 rupees more. Then you will be getting some SMS notification, right? When you will get the notification? Before depositing the money or after depositing? After depositing. That means once the amount has been credited into your account, then only you will be getting the confirmation message. Crediting means what? Already my balance is what? 10,000. Now the new balance is what? 15,000. That means what? What we are doing? Updating the record. I'm changing the balance value from 10,000 to 15,000. That means the record is updating. Update means what? An operation, DML operations. Okay? Update means what? A DML operation. Now, for example here, assume that when coming to that bus ticket here, as soon as whenever I'm reserving the ticket here, then what will happen? A new entry will be creating inside the ticket table over here. That means today a new customer has reserved a ticket over here. So now in so-and-so bus number, and this is that route from so-and-so location to so-and-so location, and so-and-so date, and this is the bus number, and this is the seat number over here. So now it is going to be indicating the entry will be creating over here. That means what? A record has been created. Whenever a new record is created, automatically it will be sending that notifications to you. That means what? Whenever I'm going to performing some operation, like as whenever I'm inserting or whenever I'm updating, automatically these are firing back here. So in this case, whenever you are receiving that email notification, when you will receive, once the record has been created or updated, it will be receiving that, you will be receiving the notification automatically. That means what? When coming to the event or criteria or evolution criteria, all are same. What this event indicates? Event is nothing but an occasion. Occasion in the sense what? A situation when the workflow rule has to be get fired. When you want me to fight this workflow rule here, to fight the actions, when you want to fight that one. Now we can indicate that event here. So in this case, when coming to that workflow rule here, each and every workflow rule will be having an event. That means a criteria which indicates when the workflow rule has to be get fired. You want me to find the workflow rule upon creating a record or upon updating the record, or in both the cases over here? Depends upon your requirement, we can able to select that. We can choose that option also. In this case, when coming to the workflow rule, each and every workflow rule contains the two parts. First one is an event which indicates when the workflow rule has to be get filed. Okay. Whenever the workflow rule has to be get filed, that we can indicate with the help of this event. You want me to find the workflow rule upon creating a record or upon updating the record, or in both the cases over here. During creation and the updation both. We can indicate that with the help of event. Okay. Now here in this case here. For example, come to a scenario. Assume that I am having a customer table over here. So this is the customer table that we have. So now this is the account number that we have for the customer. This is the name of the customer. He is having some balance here. Now today, Ramesh is depositing 5,000 more. Okay. Ramesh is depositing 5,000 more. Now what is the balance he is having right now? 22. Now what we are going to do? The recent balance, nothing but the current balance is, now he is depositing 5,000 more over here. Now the value will be getting updated as 27,000. Already he is having 22,000 in his account. Now today he has deposited 5,000 more. Now as soon as whenever I am updating that record values, okay, whenever I am updating that record value inside this object, I would like to find the workflow rule. So that here what needs to be done, whenever I am creating the workflow rule, I need to specify here. Okay, I need to specify when the workflow rule has to be get filed. I need to configure a workflow rule here. Now, this workflow rule I would like to file as soon as whenever I'm creating a new record or whenever I'm updating an existing record, inside this object, please find this workflow rule over here. Okay, that means what? Every workflow rule should be associated with an object. Okay, every workflow rule should be associated with an object here. Whenever I'm updating some record inside this particular record, automatically workflow rule will fire. It will be sending that two actions to you. Once the workflow rule has been getting fired, it will be sending that email alert. It will send an SMS alert also. Okay. As soon as whenever you are updating that balance value, whenever you are updating that record inside your record, automatically it is going to be firing the workflow rule. The workflow rule will be sending that email notification and the SMS notification to the customer's mobile number and the registered email ID. So that in this case, whenever we are going to be configuring the workflow rule, each and every workflow rule should be get associated with an object. So in that object, whenever we are creating some records, whenever I'm updating some records, automatically workflow rule can find. That possibility is available. So that here, to find the workflow rule, we need an occasion, we need a situation. Now, in this case, we have to give that situation. We have to indicate that when this rule has to be get find, upon creation or upon updation. If it is creation, in which object here? We are having not only the customer object, we are having some thousands of objects are there. Upon creating, in which object you want me to find the workflow rule? We have to indicate that. Whenever I am creating the record inside my account object, please find the workflow rule. Or whenever I am updating the record inside my case object, please find the workflow rule. We have to indicate that. On what object the workflow rule has to be get find. So we need to indicate that each and every workflow rule should be get associated with an object. So whenever I'm performing some operations inside this object records, automatically the workflow rule will fire. It is performing the respective actions to you here. Okay. Now here in this case, when coming to the workflow rule, each and every workflow rule will be associated with an object here. Okay. Now make a note of this one. Each workflow rule should be associated with an object. Each workflow rule should be associated with an object. Workflow rule to object, we are having one-to-one association. Now, you can raise a question, sir, on a single object, can I create multiple workflow rules? Yes, that possibility is available. Okay, we can create multiple workflow rules also on a single object. That possibility is available. How many we can create? We'll see the limitations also today here. What are the various governor limits are available as part of workflow rules? We'll see. Now, Upon creating this workflow rule, each and every workflow rule should be associated with an object here. Now, so now in this case here, when coming to that workflow rule, whenever a workflow rule is available on an object, we have to indicate when that rule has to be get fired. If the rule has been fired, then what actions it has to perform? We have to indicate that. For that one, every workflow rule contains the two parts basically. One is an event, second one is actions. Okay? Now, when coming to that event or evaluation criteria or simply criteria also we can say. Now when coming to the event describes when the workflow rule has to be get fired. Okay, event describes when the workflow rule has to be get fired. Okay, now we can specify that here. Now make a note over here. Event describes when the workflow rule should get fired. When the workflow rule should get fired. That means event indicates an occasion or a situation which it describes when the workflow rule has to be get fired. Now, when coming to that workflow rules, we are having three events are available. Okay, we have three events are available. That means three evaluation criteria are available. First one is created. Second one is created and every time it is edited. Third one, created and any time it is edited and meeting subsequent criteria. These are the three criteria are available for the workflow rule. The first one is created. Second one is created and every time it is edited. And the third one is created and any time it is edited and meeting subsequent criteria. These are the three criteria are available. Then what exactly each and every criteria now? Created means what? After creating what? Object or record? Record. Once a new record has been created inside the object, then workflow rule will fire. Okay? Observe the scenario here. Created, that means what? Past tense. Okay? After creating the record only, not before. Okay? Already you know the workflow, we know that security concepts. There we have discussed about assignment rules, sharing rules are also we have discussed. When those rules are firing? After or before? After insert and after update. Already we have discussed validation rules also. When validation rules are firing? Before insert and before update. But now workflow rules are also firing when? After or before? After. Okay, so that here only the validation rules are firing on before. Okay, workflow rules, sharing rules, assignment rules, these are all are firing after only here. Okay, now so that here when coming to that workflow rule, created, that means what? Whenever a new record has been created inside the object, then workflow rule will fire. That means this is occasion over here. Record creation is an occasion. Okay, whenever a new record has been created, automatically workflow rule will fire, it will perform some actions. Okay, now it will fire the workflow rule once a new record has been created inside the object. Once a new record has been created inside the object, automatically workflow rule will get fired. Created event will fire the workflow rule when a new record has been created successfully. After creating the record, not before. Now, the second criteria. Created and every time it is edited. That means what? Created and every time it is edited. Created means what? After creating the record. That means Now, whenever I'm selecting this criteria 2, that means created and every time it is edited. That means what? Once a new record has been created successfully, then workflow rule will fire. And in future, whenever I'm updating the record, in future, if I'm changing any record field value, automatically then also workflow rule will fire over here. Okay? That means what? The second criteria is going to be firing the workflow rule not only at the time of creation, at the time of updation also. So they have indicated that created and every time it is edited. That means once a new record has been created inside the object, workflow rule will fire. In future, if I'm updating the record, then also workflow rule will fire. In both the cases, it will fire. But in the previous case, what happened? Only at the time of creation. In future, if you're updating the record, workflow won't fire. Only for the creation only. Only for the new records, only workflow will fire. Not for the existing records here. Okay? Now, in this case here, now make a note. It will fire the workflow rule once a new record has been created and will also fire the rule when the record has been updated. When the record has been updated. When a new record has been created successfully, then also the workflow rule will fire, and whenever you are updating the record in future, then also the workflow rule will fire. So in order to find the rule on both creation and the updation, we are using the criteria as created and every time it is edited. Next, the third one. Third criteria, created and any time it is edited and meeting subsequent criteria. That means what? Here we are having the word created. That means what? After creating the record also the workflow rule will fire. In future, whenever I'm updating that record, at that time, if the specified conditions are met, okay, if the specified conditions are met, then only the rule will be getting fired during the updation. Upon creating the record newly, for every new record, it will be firing the workflow rule as it is. But upon updating the record, whatever the conditions you have specified, if those conditions are met, then only the workflow rule will fire. Okay? Clear? Now, so in this case, once a record has been created, then it will fire the workflow rule. Once a record has been getting updated at that time, it won't fire directly, it will check the conditions, whatever we have specified. If the conditions are met, then only the workflow rule will fire. Okay? Now, so let's make a note over here. It will fire the rule once a new record has been created. And when an existing record has been updated. Record has been updated, which meets the specified criteria. Which meets the specified criteria. These are the three criteria are available when coming to the workflow rule. What are the criteria are there for workflow rule now? Created and every time it is edited. Third one, created and any time it is edited and meeting the subsequent criteria. Okay, these are the three occasions are available. From these three, we have to select any one of the criteria upon creating the workflow rule. Okay, upon creating the workflow rule, we have to indicate any one of these criteria, not multiple. Okay, when you want to find the workflow rule, we have to indicate at the time of only creation, or at the time of creation and every time it is edited, or at the time of creation and upon addition, updating, okay, when the criteria has been met. From these three, we have to select any one of the criteria upon creating a new workflow rule. Okay, clear? Now, so when the workflow rule has been getting fired, then what actions we can perform over here? Okay, when the workflow rule has been fired, for example, today I have deposited some money into my bank account. Once the money has been credited into my bank account, automatically workflow rule will fire. If the rule is getting fired, then it has to do some operations, right? Then what operations it is going to do now? We need to indicate that actions here. Now tell me how many actions we can specify here. Only one or multiple? Multiple. Because whenever I'm depositing some money, not only sending the email notification, it is sending that SMS alert also. That means two actions it is performing here. Whenever I'm reserving the movie ticket or bus ticket or the credit card statement has been generated, it is performing multiple actions over here. Okay, it is sending that multiple actions. Not only performing one action, it can able to have multiple actions also. That possibility is there. So that once the workflow rule has been getting fired, then it can able to perform some actions. Okay, then what actions the workflow rule can do? Now let's see practically in this case. Okay, now make a note over here. Actions. When the workflow rule has been fired, then it can perform one or more actions. Then it can perform one or more actions. Not only one action, it can able to perform multiple actions also. When the workflow rule has been fired, then it can perform some actions. Then what actions it can do now? Now let's see in this case. By using this workflow rule, basically, we can able to automate 4 types of actions. Okay? By using workflow rules, we can able to automate 4 types of actions here. Then what kind of actions we can automate through workflow rules here? Okay? Now, workflow rule supports the below 4 action types. Workflow rule will support the below 4 action types. The first one is email alert. Second one is field update. Third one is assign a task. And the fourth one is sending an outbound message here. These are the 4 types of actions you can automate with the help of this workflow rule. These are the 4 actions. Apart from this, if you want to do any other action, then workflow won't support it. So these are the 4 types of actions you can automate. Then what exactly is each and every action type here? What do you mean by this email alert? When the workflow rule has been fired, then it can able to send a email notification to the recipient people over here. With the help of what? With the help of an email template. Because upon firing that workflow rule, if it wants to send the email notification, then upon sending the email notification, we need some email subject and content, right? Then what subject, what content you want to deliver? For that one, in order to get that subject and the content, we need an email template. So that upon firing the workflow rule to send the email notification, the prerequisite thing is email template. Without that email template, we can't send the email notifications through workflow rules. Okay? Now, in this case, with the help of this workflow rule, we can send the email notification to the required people. Now you can specify, you can raise a question. So to how many people we can send? To only one person or multiple people? Multiple people also we can send. Then do I need to hardcode that? No, dynamically we can enter that email ID to whom you want to send. That we can decide that. That possibility is available here. So that with the help of this workflow rules, we can send the email notifications to one or more number of people with the required subject, with the required content by using an email template. By using a pre-existing email template, we can send the email notifications to that required people also. That possibility is there as part of this email alerts. Okay? Clear? Now make a note here. By using this action, we can send the email notification. We can send an email notification to one or more users with the required subject and content by using a pre-existing email template. By using a pre-existing email template. The prerequisite is we need an email template to send the email alerts. In order to send the email alerts, we need an email template. It's a mandatory thing. Without that email template, we can't send the email notification to the people. Next, the second one, field update. By using this field update, what we can do? By using this field update, what we can do? We can update a field value. Okay, with the help of this workflow action, we can update a field value. Okay, in order to update a field value, we are using this field update action. But for example, assume that here I am having a record. In that record, 10 fields are there. From out of these 10 fields, I want to update 4 fields here. Okay, I want to update 4 field values. In this case, by using field update action, we can update only 1 field, not multiple. To update 2 fields, we need to add 2 field update actions. To update 4 fields, we need to add 4 field update actions we need to add. That means what? By using that field update action, we can update only 1 field. If you want to update the multiple fields, then we need to add multiple actions of type field update. In this case, if the record is a larger record which is having some hundreds of columns are available, at that time, if you want to update more number of fields, then workflow won't support. Okay, workflow won't support. Why? Because in a single workflow rule, we can have maximum of 40 immediate actions, not more than that. Okay, maximum of 40 immediate actions we can able to add inside a single workflow rule. That means even though if you are adding all the actions are of type field update, we can update only 40 fields, not more than that. So in this case, if you are adding the 40 actions inside the workflow rule to update simply the 40 field values, then it will be making my workflow complex. Okay, it will make my workflow complex. So at that time, there is a chance to impacting on the application performance. For that one here, whenever if you want to update very less number of fields, like as 1 field, 2 fields, 5 fields, maximum of 10 fields, then go with that workflow field updates. If you want to update more number of fields inside your record, don't go with that workflow rules because workflow field updates are not suggestible to use. Because it will make your workflow rule complex, which will be impacting on your application performance. So that here, if you want to update more number of fields, then the best solution is go with the triggers. By using triggers, not only updating 1 field, not only updating 40 fields, n number of fields also we can update in one shot. That possibility is there as part of triggers, as part of programming. So that here, whenever we are going to be updating the fields through workflow rules, if the very less number of fields you are updating, then go with the workflow field update. If you want to update more number of fields, then workflow field updates are not suggestible to use. Because Salesforce will allow you to add maximum of 40 immediate actions inside that workflow rule, not more than that. Okay, that is the limitation given by Salesforce as part of workflow rules. Okay, now here in this case here, now by using this field update action, make a note here. By using this action, we can update a field value with the new value here. We can assign a new value over here, whatever you want. That is, we can update only one field value by using this action. To update the multiple fields, we need to add multiple field update actions. Okay, multiple field update actions, which make your workflow complex and will impact on the application performance. The next one. The third one, assigning a task. By using these workflow rules, we can assign a task record to the user also. In order to assign a task, that means what? We can able to add some reminders. We can add some alarms. Okay, we can add some alarms inside your Salesforce instance also with the help of activities like as task and event objects. So in this case, whenever I'm going to be sending some email notification to the people, then if the people is busy with some other work, then at that time, he may not be having the chance to look into the email also. So at that time here, until or unless the people are not looking into the email, okay, they don't know what exactly the information is. For that one, I'm not only sending that email notification, I want to assign a task also, which will be opening a pop-up window automatically, will be giving that information over here. So that we can give some reminders. We can give some alarms to the people also, so that it will be reminding to the people directly by giving a pop-up window. At that time, we are going to be using an action called as assign a new task. Okay? Now, by using this action, we can assign a new task record to the required user with the required subject, content, status, priority, and due date. Based on that required subject and the content, status, priority, and the due date, we can able to assign a task also. So this is the task we are assigning to you. This is the task subject. This is the task description. This is the priority of the task. This is the current status of your task. And this is the due date by what we need to complete your task here. So that we can assign a task record to the users also, which will be giving the reminder always. Next, the fourth one, sending an outbound message. Basically, this feature is comes under integration part. Okay, it is comes under the integration part over here. Now, by using this outbound message, we can send an XML-based message to the external system. In order to integrate with the external systems or in order to integrate with the third-party systems, we are using these outbound messages. Okay, we can send some recorded data to the third-party system, so that third-party system will receive your data. It will do the further processing also over here. Okay, now, so now in this case here, by using this action, we can send an XML-based SOAP message to the external system. We can send an XML-based SOAP message to the external system. These are the four types of actions we can able to automate with the help of workflow rules. These are the four types of actions that we can automate with the help of workflow rules. So each and every workflow rule can have Only one criteria and then multiple actions also. One criteria and multiple actions we can able to add. Because that possibility is available. Clear? Now. So now in this case, when coming to the workflow rule, it's a common question in every interview. What exactly the workflow rule and what are the various events and the actions that we can do with the help of workflow rules? It's a common question. What criteria and what actions are available for the workflow rule? You know that now. Now when coming to the workflow rules are used to automate some of the business processes as part of our organization, where we can create the workflow rule on a specific object which will be firing automatically whenever I'm creating some records, whenever I'm updating the records also. So that workflow is providing three criteria: created, and every time it is edited, and created and any time it is edited and meeting subsequent criteria. When the workflow rule has been fired, then we can perform some certain actions here. Not only one, multiple actions we can perform. Then what kind of actions we can perform? We can send some email notifications to the required people. And we can update some fields also. We can assign some new task also to the user. And we can send an XML-based outbound message to that third-party systems also. These are the various types of actions we can able to automate through workflow rules. Okay? Clear? Now. So now let's see in this case here. When coming to the workflow rules, we have two types of workflow rules are available here. Okay, we have two types of workflow rules. We have two types of workflow rules are available here. First one, immediate action workflow rules. Second one, time dependent action workflow rules. Immediate action workflow rule, time dependent action workflow rule. Then what do you mean by immediate action? What do you mean by time dependent action? Now these time dependent actions are simply called as time triggers. Time triggers. Now, what do you mean by immediate action? What do you mean by time dependent action? For example, today I have reserved a movie ticket. Then when you will get the message? After some time or immediately? Immediately. I have reserved a travel ticket. When you will get the message? Immediately. Whenever I am going to be depositing some money, then when you will get that? Immediately will be getting that. That means what? Whenever I am going to be performing some certain operation, once the criteria has been met, immediately it will be sending that notification. Immediately it is firing that actions. That means what? Immediate actions in the sense, the actions will be getting fired as soon as the criteria has been met. Whenever the criteria has been met, that means whenever the record has been created, immediately it will send the notification. Whenever the record has been modified, immediately it will send the notifications here. So that as soon as whenever the criteria has been met, then immediately it will be firing those actions which are called as immediate action workflow rules. But in some cases, I need to fire the action based on some time period also. Okay? Based on some time period also, I would like to fire some actions over here. Like for example, come to a scenario. Assume that I'm using a credit card. I'm using a credit card from some ICICI bank. So now, every day I'm using this credit card and I'm making some online purchases. Whatever the items I want, I'm making those online purchases through this credit card here. When coming to my credit card bill generation date. So now my credit card bill generation date is 1st of every month. Okay, 1st of that month. And the bill due date is, they have given that 15th of the month here. Okay, 15th of the month. That means what? Now, in the last 1 month of time, whatever the online purchases that are made by using this credit card, they will collect all the transactions. They will prepare a complete bill. That bill they are going to be sending to me on the first of every month. That means in the last 30 days, these are the various online purchases that you have made through this credit card here. So this is the bill amount like as of 5,000 rupees, and then you have the time till 15th of this month. So please pay the credit card bill on or before 15th of the month over here. If you did not pay that bill on or before 15, then we are going to be starting that interest charging on that bill amount over here. Okay, or else as part of my bank policy, I need to block your card also over here. Okay, now in this case here, we are having this information. Now the bill generation date is 1st of every month and the bill due date is 15th of that month over here. Now for example, today, assume that today is the first. Today is the first of the month. What will happen in this case? My credit card bill will be getting generated here. As soon as the bill has been generated, what it will do? They're sending that SMS notification, they're sending that email notification. Dear customer, so now your credit card number ending with some 1234 bill has been generated. This is the bill amount like some 4,500 rupees and the due date is 15th of the month. So please pay that bill on or before the due date. So they're sending the notification that as soon as the credit card bill has been generated, once the bill has been generated, immediately they're sending that notification to the customer so that the customer should be aware of what exactly the bill amount for this credit card for this month here. Okay, so that as soon as the credit card bill has been generated, immediately it will be sending that notification over here. Immediately. Now, for example, now today is the first. So now I have received that message from that bank regarding the credit card bill. Now they have given that due date as 15. Now I am having the time till 15th of this month. That means I am having 15 days of grace period is there to pay that credit card bill. At any point of time, I can pay the bill, okay, before 15th of this month here. Okay, before 15th, at any point of time, I can pay that credit card bill also. I have that chance, I have that permission over here. Now, in this meantime, because of some vacation, if I'm going to outside, because of some health issues, if I got hospitalized, because of some office work, if I forgot to pay the credit card bill, then it will be impacting on my credibility. Okay, it will be impacting on my credibility over here. Even though I'm having the sufficient funds, even though I'm having the sufficient amount to pay the credit card bill, because of some personal work, because of some office work, because of some vacation, I forgot to pay the credit card bill here. I'm having the money readily with me, but I forgot to pay the credit card bill here. In this case, what we can do? For this one, in this case, even though the customer forgot about the credit card bill, as an organization, it is my responsibility that I need to remind to my customer over here. Because as an organization, not only selling out the product, service is very, very important here. So in this case, as an organization, it is my responsibility that I need to keep on reminding to my customer over here. Because if the customer is forgot to pay the credit card bill, it will be impacting on his CIBIL score. It will be impacting on his credibility also here. For that reason here, as an organization, always I want to maintain a very good association with my customer. I want to maintain a good relationship with my customer so that it is my responsibility. I need to keep on reminding to my customer by sending some notifications over here. By giving some reminder alerts, I would like to remind to the people regarding the credit card bill payment. So for that one, what they will do here, they are going to be sending that notifications again. That means 10 days before the due date here. That means 10 days before the due date means what? On 5th of that month. They will send one SMS notification, they will send one email alert here. Okay? When 10 days before the due date, my due date is 15th, 10 days before, that means on 5th of that month, they will be sending one reminder alert to you here. Now, after that, 5 days before the due date, that means on 10th of that month over here, they're sending one SMS notification and they're sending one email alert regarding the credit card bill payment here. Like the similar way here, 3 days before, they will be sending one more alert here. That means on 12th, they're sending one more alert. And then 1 day before, that means on 14th, they're sending one more alert here. And the 0 days before, that means on the same day, they're sending one more alert over here. Okay? Now, So now here they keep on giving the reminder notifications to you over here. Now, after 1 day also, okay, 1 day after also, 1 day after the due date, that means on 16th also, they're sending the notification over here. And 2 days after, 2 days after the due date, that means on 17th, they are going to be blocking the card here. They will block the card. That means they will be changing the status of your card from active to inactive. From there onwards, you can't make any online purchases over here. Okay? You have to make the payment, then only the bank people will be reactivating your card again. That means what in this case, they are going to be sending these alerts also, nothing but reminders also. Now tell me who is sending these reminder notifications? The bank people are sending that? No. System is sending here. I don't want to send this one manually because I don't want to appoint a separate person to send the reminder notification to the people. I want to delegate this whole responsibility to my system itself so that I need a facility that I can able to schedule some actions also. Okay, I can schedule some actions based on some specific time period. For that one, we are using a feature called as time-dependent actions. By using the time-dependent actions, we can able to configure some actions which can be getting fired based on the specified time period. Okay, based on the specific time period. As of now, whatever the actions are there, these actions are firing upon creating the record or upon updating the record. That means based on some DML events. But now, I don't want to fire based on events, I want to fire based on some time. So that workflows is the only feature which will be having the capability to fire the actions on both event basis and time basis also both. Generally, if anybody asks in the entry point of view regarding the time trigger, the people will start off, there is a word is the trigger, so it may be trigger feature. Don't explain about the triggers here. If anybody asks the question time trigger, explain about the time dependent action workflow rules. Okay, don't confuse with the word it is having trigger. Don't think about that. This is the trigger topic here. Triggers can't fire on time basis. Triggers are always firing on event basis here. But only the workflow rules can fire on both time and the event basis also both. Okay. Now here in this case, whenever if you want to fire some actions based on some specific time periods, then at that time we can able to go with that time dependent action workflow rules. Okay. Like the similar way. Come to a different scenario here. For example, today I'm having a travel over here, travel plan. There is a bus ticket here, okay, for today. So now which will be at evening at 10 o'clock, okay, 10 p.m. IST, which is in some boarding point in some Amirpet over here. Now 2 days back, I have reserved this bus ticket over here, okay, to travel from Hyderabad to some Vijayawada. So now, the bus will be today evening at 10 o'clock here. As soon as whenever I'm reserving that bus ticket, immediately you will be getting that notification. Your seat has been getting reserved over here. This is the bus number, and this is the seat number, and this is the amount, and this is the time, this is the boarding point over here. It will be giving the whole information to you. Now, after that here. So once, as soon as the ticket has been reserved, immediately it will be sending that email notification, SMS notification also to you. Now, for example, here. Now, today time is evening at 6 o'clock. Okay, 6 p.m. That means 4 hours before. 4 hours before, they will be sending one SMS notification to you by including the driver details. Okay, they're sending one SMS notification to you. So now, dear customer or dear passenger, so this is the contact details of the bus. This is the bus number, and this is the service number, and this is the contact number inside the bus here. This is the driver name, some so-and-so person. So now they are sending one SMS notification 4 hours before of your travel here. Okay, now, after that, next one, evening at 8 p.m. here. That means 2 hours before. 2 hours before, they are sending one more SMS notification to you with the tracking details here. Okay, with the tracking link. Where exactly the bus is available, we can track that bus over here by using Google Maps. Okay, so now they are sending that tracking link over here inside that SMS notification 2 hours before. And then, evening at 9:30 p.m. here. That means half an hour before. Okay, 30 minutes before. 30 minutes before, they're sending one more SMS notification. They're indicating to you, so dear passengers, please get ready, okay, with the luggage at the boarding point. The bus is on the way. So the next pickup point will be your Amirpet over here. They're sending that notification to you. Okay, now. So once you have catch the bus, and then once your travel is over, if you are reaching to the destination at morning at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock you will be getting that message over here. That means after 1 hour of your travel here. Okay, after one hour of your travel, they're sending one more SMS notification to you regarding the feedback. Okay, regarding the feedback. So please give the feedback of your travel experience. That means what they're automating all these things here. These are all the things that we are experiencing in the real world every day. Then how they are configuring all these things? All these things they are going to be configuring with the help of time-dependent action workflows only. Nothing different, nothing new. So that means what? Whenever we are firing the workflow rules based on some time, the time can be in the form of a specific day, or the time can be in the form of that hours also. Okay? We can specify the time in terms of hours, or the time we can specify in terms of days also. That possibility will be available to you over here. Depends upon your requirement. 2 hours before, or 2 days before, 4 hours after, 1 day after, 10 days after also, we can define that here. That possibility is available to you. Okay? So now here in this case, whenever if you want to fire some actions, okay, based on some specific time period, either before or after, it may be based on hours, it may be based on days also. At that time, we can go with that time-dependent action workflow rules, which are called as time triggers. Okay? We can able to fire some actions also based on some specific time period. Now we can raise a question, sir, till that time period where these actions will get resides. For this one, Salesforce is maintaining a workflow queue. Salesforce is maintaining a workflow queue. Inside this workflow queue, these actions are waiting till the scheduled time is up. Once the scheduled time is up, automatically the action will be getting fired. That entry will be removed from the queue automatically by default here. Okay? So till the scheduled time is up, automatically these actions are waiting inside the queue. Once the time is up, then action will be getting performed, and it is going to be removing that entry from the queue by default here. Then you can raise the question, sir, can it track that queue? Yes, there is a possibility here. We can track that queue also. Then how to configure this time-dependent actions, and then how can we see the queue, what actions are waiting inside that queue, and then if you want to remove some action, then you can do that operations. All the possibilities are available. We'll see each and everything practically also. Okay? So these are the various types of workflow rules that we have in Salesforce. One is we are having the immediate action workflow rules. Second one, time-dependent action workflow rules. Immediate action workflow rules are firing immediately as soon as the criteria has been met. When coming to the time-dependent actions, time-dependent actions will be getting fired, okay, whenever the specified time period is up. So now in this case, these are not firing immediately. These are going to be waiting inside the queue. That is workflow queue till the scheduled time is up. Once the scheduled time is up, automatically the action will be getting performed over there. Okay? Clear? Now, so these are the two types of workflow rules are available when coming to your Salesforce here. Okay? Now let's come to that governor limits here. Okay? Now let's come to the governor limits. So what are the various limitations has been given by Salesforce as part of workflow rules? Now, whenever you are going to be creating a workflow rule, each workflow rule should be associated with an object. That means workflow rule 2 object one-to-one association only. Okay, one-to-one association only. But object to workflow rule, we are having one-to-many association. Okay, one-to-many association. Now in this case, on a single object, how many workflow rules that we can configure? Say now. How many? No, those are actions. Those are actions. How many workflow rules? On a single object, we can configure maximum of 500 workflow rules. From those 500, maximum of 50 workflow rules should be in active status. Remaining 450 should be in inactive status here, not more than that. Now, if you want to cross-check the limit, then where we can verify the limitations here? Do we have any chance to verify the limits? Yes, where? Go to your object, where we can verify the limits here. You will be having a section called as limits section at the last. Go to that limits section over here. Now it is indicating that total workflow rules, how many we can have? 500 is the limit. Active workflow rules, how many we can make it active here? 50 maximum, not more than that. Okay, this the limitation has been given by Salesforce here. So on a single object, we can have maximum of 500 workflow rules. Okay, from those 500, 50 should be in active status, not more than that. Okay, now make a note over here. We can have maximum of 50 active workflow rules for an object out of an allowed limit of 500 workflow rules per an object here. The maximum number of workflow rules per an object is 500, but 50 will be in active status at a time, not more than that. Next one, the second one. Now, for this entire organization, how many workflow rules that we can have? For my entire organization, we can able to have maximum of 2000 workflow rules, not more than that. For your entire organization, including all the object workflow rules, count should be maximum of 2000 over here. Okay, now we can have maximum of 2000 workflow rules for an entire organization. For an entire organization, we can have maximum of 2000 workflow rules, not more than that. Next, the third limitation. So inside a single workflow rule, okay, inside a single workflow rule, how many immediate actions that we can able to add? How many immediate actions? 40, right? Now, we can have maximum of 40 immediate actions per a workflow rule. We can have maximum of 40 immediate actions per a workflow rule. Then how many time triggers we can add here? Now in this case, we are indicating this. Now we are firing this action when 10 days before, 5 days before, 3 days before, 1 day before, like that. This is called as a time trigger. Okay, this is called as a time trigger. This is one time trigger. This is the second time trigger. This is the third time trigger. This is the fourth time trigger. That means when, during on what dates you would like to fire these actions over here. We can indicate that time trigger. These are called as a time trigger. That means 5th of that month, every early morning at 12 o'clock. Okay, 5th of that month, early morning at 12 o'clock, this action will be getting fired automatically. Now 10th of that month, okay, early morning at 12 o'clock, this action will get fired. 12th of that month, okay, early morning at 12 o'clock, this action will be getting fired. So that once the date value has been changed, automatically action will be getting fired. So now these kind of dates are called as time triggers. Okay, these are called as time triggers. Now, like this one, inside a single workflow rule, we can able to have maximum of 10 time triggers, not more than that. Okay, 10 time triggers we can able to have per an object over per a workflow rule. Now in this case, inside a single workflow rule, we can have 10 time trigger. This is one time trigger here. This is the second one. This is the third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth, seventh. Like that here we can able to add maximum of 10 time triggers per a workflow rule, not more than that. Now, whenever on 5th of that month if the workflow rule has been fired, how many actions we can able to fire here? In each and every time trigger, we can add maximum of 40 time dependent actions here. Okay, so now on 5th we can fire 40 actions, on 10th 40 actions, on 12th 40 actions, on 14th 40 actions. Like that here we can able to add 40 time dependent actions in each and every time trigger. Okay, a workflow rule can have maximum of 10 time triggers. Each time trigger can have maximum of 40 time dependent actions over here. Okay, clear? Now make a note of this one. The workflow rule can have maximum of 10 time triggers. Each time trigger can have maximum of 40 time dependent actions. Okay. Each time trigger can have maximum of 40 time dependent actions. Now, by using workflow rules, how many email notifications that we can send per day? By using that workflow rule, we can able to send maximum of 20 lakhs email notifications in 24 hours time frame from an organization. Okay, from an organization. That too, that will be purely depends upon the number of full licenses that we have. For each full licenses, it will be giving the 10,000 email notifications per day. Okay, per day, 10,000 email notifications over here in unlimited edition. Now, if it is a free developer edition, okay, now by using one full license, we can able to send maximum of 150 email notifications per day. Okay, by using that workflow rules, we can send maximum of 20 lakhs email notifications to the email IDs in 24 hours time frame from an entire organization. That too, this 20 lakhs is purely depends upon the number of full licenses. Suppose inside your organization, if you are having some 10 full licenses here. Full license means what? Salesforce license. Okay, Salesforce license here. Depends upon this each and every Salesforce licenses here. For each and every Salesforce license, Salesforce is giving that 10,000 email notification per day. Okay, per day. In 24 hours time frame, we can send 10,000 email notification by using one full license from your organization. If it is an unlimited edition over here. If it is a free developer edition here. Okay. If it is a free developer edition. So now each full license will allow us to send maximum of 150 emails per day. Okay, 150 per day. This the limitation has been given by Salesforce. Suppose if you are having some 10 full licenses are there inside your organization, then we can able to get that 10,000 into 10. Okay, now 1 lakh email notifications we can able to send per day here. Suppose if you are having some 100 Salesforce licenses are available, then 100 into 10,000 here. Like that we can send 10,000 for the 10 lakhs email notifications per day here. Okay, like that we can able to send. Suppose I am having some 1,000 Salesforce licenses are available here. Then 1,000 into 10,000. What is the value now? Then in this case here, it will be giving the limitation up to 20 lakhs max, not more than that. Even though if you are having more number of licenses, Salesforce is giving the limitation up to 20 lakhs email notification per day from an organization through workflow rules. Okay. Now make a note here. We can send maximum of 20 lakhs email notifications through workflow rules in 24 hours time frame. In 24 hours time frame, based on the number of full licenses we have. Based on the number of full licenses we have. For each full license, we will get 10,000 emails per day in unlimited edition. For each full license, we will get 150 emails per day in free developer edition. Okay, in free developer edition. So these are the limitations has been given by Salesforce. So that upon sending the email notifications, we have to utilize these email notifications very, very efficiently. Don't waste the email notifications here. Before sending that email notification, please make sure the respective values are available or not. Clear? Done? Now. So let's see a practical example here. How can we use these workflow rules? Okay, where exactly the navigation over here? So let's see the navigation, where exactly the workflows option is available to you. Go to that setup menu. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Click on create. Click on workflows and approvals. And here you will be having the option of workflow rules. There is an option called as workflow rules. Now from there, we need to create your own workflow rule over here. Then how to create this workflow rule? Now let's see a practical use case here. Okay. So let me take a small scenario. Now, for example, assume that I'm creating a new candidate record here. Okay, I'm creating a new candidate record. Whenever I'm creating a new candidate record, whatever the position details I have selected, okay, whatever the position details I have selected, by specifying all my details here, upon click on that save button, okay, upon click on the save button, my candidate record has to be get created, and then immediately it has to send the email notification to the candidate email ID by using an email template here. Yesterday, we have configured one email template over there. We have configured the email template in order to send the email notification to that candidate person here. Okay, this is the email notification we have configured. There is an email template is available. I want to use this email template in order to send the notification with the help of my workflow rule. Okay. So now, as soon as upon creating a new candidate record, I want to send the email notification to the candidate person here. Okay, with the help of workflow rules. As of now, we have created the email template. We have tested that email template by using send, test, and verify merge fields. But now I don't want to do that. I would like to make this process automated here. How to do? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, let's take that use case here. Take a small use case. Configure a workflow rule on the candidate object to send the email notification to the candidate upon submitting the candidature for a specified position. As soon as whenever the candidate has been submitting his candidature or profile for a particular position, immediately I want to send the email notification to the candidate person here. Now tell me your analysis here. On what object we need to create the workflow rule now? On what object we need to create the workflow rule? Candidate object here. What is the criteria? That means event. When you want to find the workflow rule? As soon as whenever your record has been created. So now I would like to specify created. Now before sending that email notification, what you want to verify? If you want to send the email notification, email ID should be there, right? So I want to verify that inside my candidate record, this email ID field value should not be empty. Because I don't want to waste my email services. I don't want to waste my emails because I am having very limited emails given by Salesforce. Okay, per day. So that here I want to utilize that email resources very, very efficiently. So before sending that email notification, I would like to make sure this email ID field is having the value or not. I would like to cross check that. Now rule condition is candidate's email ID field. Email ID field should not be null. Now tell me what type of action you want to file. Immediate or time dependent? Immediate action. Now what is that action name? What kind of action you want to perform now? We want to use that email alert here. Okay, I would like to use that email alert. So this is my technical analysis over here for my use case. That means they have given some requirement. Based on the requirement, we have prepared my understanding here. That means I need to create a workflow rule on my candidate object, which will be firing on upon creating a new candidate record inside the object. So it has to send the email notification immediately. Before sending the notification, it has to cross-check whether that candidate's email ID is empty or not. If it is empty, it should not fire. If it is not empty, it has to fire. Okay? Clear? Now let's see how can we configure this workflow rule right now. Now let's go to the navigation process here. Go to the setup menu. Go to the build menu in the left panel in order to create a new workflow rule. Go to that create. You will be having an option called as workflows and approvals. Expand these workflows and approvals, and we have an option called as the workflow rules. Click on these workflow rules. Now it is indicating some basic information about that workflow rules here. Now click on continue. Now we don't have any workflow rules available on my objects as of now. We don't have any workflow rules as of now, so I want to create a new rule. Click on that new rule button. Now, as soon as once you click on the new rule button, first of all, it is asking me to select the object. On what object you want me to create the workflow rule? Select the object name. What is the object name now? Candidate. Select the object as candidate here. Now, the navigation sub clearly how described inside your hard copy with screenshots also. Okay. Now, click on that next button. Now, so now specify the workflow rule name and the description. I'm indicating that here. Now, new candidate creation notification template. So notification rule. I'm indicating that. New candidate record creation notification rule. Now you will be having the evaluation criteria. These are the three criteria are available. From this one, we have to select only one, not multiple. Created, and any time it is edited, and created and any time it is edited and meeting subsequent criteria. These are the three criteria are available. Now, I'm selecting the criteria as created. Now, select the conditions. What conditions you want to verify? I want to verify that the candidate's email ID field value not equals to empty. Okay, it should not be empty. Compulsorily, it should be having some email ID value inside that. Now, click on save and next. Now we are created the workflow rule, but we haven't added the actions now. Now we are adding the actions over here. What type of actions you would like to add? You would like to add either immediate workflow actions or the time dependent actions over here. I want to add immediate actions here. Then go to that immediate workflow actions section and then select the action type. What type of action you would like to add right now? You want to assign a new task, or you want to send an email alert, or you want to update a field, or you want to send an outbound message. These are the 4 actions we can automate with the help of workflow rules. Now, I want to send an email notification over here. So click on new email alert. As soon as once you click on this new email alert, it is providing a user interface to specify to whom you want to send the email notification. Upon sending the email notification, what template do we need to use? Okay, now we can specify that. I'm giving the description here. Send the email notification to the candidate. Okay, I'm giving the description, send the email notification to the candidate. Now, here select that email template. What template you would like to use to send the notification. Now click on lookup icon here. So these are the various email templates are available. Now from this one, which we need to select now? What is the template we need to use? Here we have created a template with the name new applicant submission notification template. Yesterday we have created that here, which is of type custom type. Select that email template. I want to use this email template in order to send the email notification. Now, to whom you want to send the email notification over here? To whom you want to send? Upon creating the candidate record, whatever the email ID I have specified over here, to this email ID I want to send the notification. Okay? Because candidate to candidate email IDs are completely different. So that whatever the email ID I have entered inside this email ID field, to that email ID I want to send the notification. So that based on this email ID field, I want to send the notification. So select that recipient type. To whom you want to send? Based on the user, based on role, based on public group, based on owner of the record, or the email field, creator of the record, case team, account owner, to whom you want to send now. Now tell me what is that here? Email field. Okay, now email field. So whenever I'm selecting the email field, then what fields are there inside my candidate object which are having the data type as email type? It is populating all the email fields over here. Now I have one field called as email ID. To this email ID, I would like to send a notification here. That means inside my email ID field, whatever the email ID that I am going to enter, to that email ID, I want to send a notification over here. For that one, I'm selecting that email field. Now you can raise a question. So this is the only email ID to whom we are sending the notification. Can I add some more people? Yes, we can add. Suppose if you want to add some users also, we can add the users also here. To all these people, we can send the notification also. Not only to one person, we can send the email notification to multiple people also over here. Okay? So now that possibility is available. Now in this case, I would like to send the email notification to that email ID which we have entered inside that email ID field. Along with that, suppose for example, now assume that customer candidate has submitted the query card here. So email notification has been sent to the candidate's email ID. Maybe he has deleted that email notification by mistake. Today, he told me I haven't received any email notification. Then how can we show the proof to that person was already email notification has been delivered to you? How can we show the proof? For that one, I need a proof copy of that email notification. For that one, Salesforce has given a feature to add some additional email IDs up to 5 CC copies. We can able to add 5 email addresses additionally over here. to send one copy of that email notification to these people also. For example, I'm going to be adding my email address over here. Okay, I'm adding my email address so that whenever I'm sending the email notification to that candidate's email ID, along with that, one copy of the email notification has to send to my email ID also over here. Okay, now click on save button. Now, so we have added one action over here, like as email alert. Like that, sir, how many more actions you can add now? Totally, how many immediate actions you can add? 40 actions. How many we have added as of now? 1. How many still we can add? 39 we can add inside that workflow. Okay? Clear? Now, so this is the way we are going to be creating the workflow rule. Once the workflow rule has been getting configured, if you want to add some more actions, then you can add one more action also. That already told you, workflow will be having one criteria, multiple actions. If you want to add one more action, then you can add the different action also, whatever you want. But now as part of my use case, I want to add only that email alert action over here. Once you are done with adding all the actions, then click on done button. You can click on done button once you are done with adding all the actions. Now your workflow is ready, okay, with the required conditions, with the criteria and the actions here. Now this workflow is not in active status. We need to make the workflow rule in active status here. For that one, we have a button called as activate button. Click on activate button to make that workflow rule be in active status over here. Now the workflow rule is inactive. From now onwards, whenever I'm creating a new candidate record, automatically email notification will be sending to that candidate's email ID. Along with that, one CC copy to my email ID also here. Now, let me test the functionality now here. Now tell me, how can we test this functionality now? What we need to do now? Create a candidate record over here. I'm creating a candidate record. Now I'm giving that candidate name here. Like for example, some Abhinav Sharma. Okay, Abhinav Sharma. Years of experience, okay, some 5 years. Notice period, some 1 month. Location is some Hyderabad. Qualification, some BTech. Contact number, I'm entering some value. Email ID. Give me anybody's email ID. Okay. Give me anybody's email ID. Abhishek. Okay. 002. Spellings are correct. Let's check. Okay. Once the email has been received, then give me the confirmation. Okay. Because here I will be getting one copy, so I want to send that email notification to his email ID also. Now the current CTC I'm indicating like as some 11 lakhs. Expected CTC is some 16 lakhs. PAN number I'm entering some value. Passport number I'm entering some value. Now he is having the technical skills like some Apex programming and core Java, Salesforce CRM, and the Visual Force. These are the technical skills he is having right now. Now he is selecting the position. So he is selecting a position called as Salesforce Administrator. He is applying for a job that is called as Salesforce Administrator here. Now, so now before click on save button, let me log in into my Gmail account also. Okay, now. So now here in this case, I don't have any new emails over here. Now I'm creating this record right now. As soon as whenever I'm click on save button, record has to be get created. Once a record has been getting created, it has to send the email notification to this email ID along with a CC copy to my email address also. Now click on save button. As soon as once you click on that save button, record has been created successfully, it will send the email notification over here. So now I have received that email notification. Congratulations, Abhinav Sharma, your profile has been submitted successfully. Now, click on this email notification. You are receiving the whole details. Now it is indicating that, dear Abhinav Sharma, so now congratulations, your candidature has been submitted successfully for the position Salesforce Administrator here. Now this is your candidate ID, name of that candidate, location value, and the position applied for, current CTC, expected CTC, notice period, your email ID, and your technical skills also. Along with that, it is providing that hyperlink. Once you click on this hyperlink, automatically record will be getting open for that user over here. Okay. So now, have you received that email notification? Right. Now, so now both the people has received that email notification here. Previously, we did both the operations separately. Created the record separately, send the notification separately by using send it, test, and verify merge fields. Now I am going to be automating both the processes over here by using workflow rules. Okay. So whatever the email ID we are going to enter, to that email ID, email notification will be sending by the Salesforce automatically by default here. Okay. Clear? Understood the concept here? Now. Now, let's make a small use cases here. Make the assignments. Configure a workflow rule to send the email notification to the case owner upon creating a new case record. Upon creating a new case record of high priority. Now, what conditions we need to add now? I want to check the condition. When you want to send a notification to the owner, if the case has been created with the priority high. If the case priority is equals to low or medium, I don't want to send a notification. So, add the condition priority equals to high. Next. Configure a workflow rule to send the email notification to the lead person's email ID upon creating a new lead record and upon updating the lead details. Now tell me what is the criteria in this case. Second criteria, created and every time it is edited here. Okay. Third one, configure a workflow rule to send the email notification to the hiring manager upon assigning a new position record to the HR person. As soon as whenever a new position has been getting assigned to the HR person, immediately I want to send that email notification over. These are the 3 assignments. If you are done with these 3 assignments today, tomorrow's topic will be very, very easy for you. Tomorrow we are going to discuss time-dependent actions, and then time-dependent actions is a bit lengthy topic. It will take minimum 1 to 1.5 hours. And then we'll see the concept of field updates. There I would like to show you 2 scenarios in the field updates. Updating the fields in the same object. And I would like to take up one more scenario, cross-object field updates. Okay. How can we create a workflow rule in a different object? How to update the field in a different object here? We'll see both. There, what is the limitations we have? We'll see practically.